Good afternoon. My name is Melena Martinez, and today I'm going to be discussing my assessment, nutrition recommendations, and 3-day meal plan for our case study, Jane. So Jane is a 14-year-old female. She weighs 152 pounds. She comes from a low-income background. Both of her parents are overweight with diabetes and hyperlipidemia. Her weight has been increasing by 5 to 6 pounds each year due to her lack of physical activity and poor diet, which is high in calories, added sugars, and fats. So as an adolescent, this is a very important time for Jane's health. She is growing and developing, so it is important that she gets the right amount of nutrients from healthy foods to continue this process, avoid disease, and supply herself with daily energy. So Jane's BMI is above the 95th percentile. Her weight for age is above the 90th percentile. And stature for age is between the 25th and 50th percentile. Jane's BMI and weight for age exceed the healthy range for adolescent females her age. Therefore, she is considered obese. So Jane's recommended intake of calories should be 2,368 per day. Her macronutrients should consist of 130 grams of carbohydrates, 26 grams of fiber, 11 grams of linoleic acid, 1 gram of A-linoleic acid, and 46 grams of protein. Per her micronutrients, she should be getting 1,300 milligrams of calcium, 1,250 milligrams of phosphorus, 360 grams of magnesium, 600 grams of vitamin D, 3 milligrams of fluoride, 1 milligram of thiamine, 1 milligram of riboflavin, and 14 milligrams of niacin. Based on Jane's current diet, she has a deficient nutrient intake of vegetables, potassium, magnesium, iron, vitamin A, vitamin D, and choline. So how does this affect Jane's health? Vegetables supply essential fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which would provide Jane with daily energy. A lack of iron in her diet could cause Jane to be lethargic and impair her growth. Vitamin D is essential for the promotion of bone growth, which Jane needs as a growing adolescent. A lack of choline could impair Jane's brain development, energy levels, liver function, and metabolism. And a lack of vitamin A could hinder Jane's vision and immune system to fight infection. Currently, Jane has an excessive nutrient intake of grain, dairy, sugar, cholesterol, fiber, saturated fat, sodium, and calories. So Jane's excessive intake of fat, sugar, and cholesterol increases her risk for cardiovascular disease and some cancers. The excess levels of sodium in Jane's diet can also increase her blood pressure and potentially cause cardiovascular disease. And if Jane continues to eat the way she does, she could gain more weight and acquire chronic disease or cancer. Jane's lipid profile results revealed that her fasting glucose, hemoglobin A1C, HDL-C, and LDL are not within the appropriate reference range. So Jane's fasting glucose should be between 95 and 110 milligrams. Jane's score is 116. If Jane's glucose level continues to stay impaired, there's a chance she could be pre-diabetic. The lack of vitamin D in her diet could also be contributing to her high fasting glucose levels. Her hemoglobin A1C should be between 3.9 and 5.2%. Jane's score is 5.5%. Although Jane's score is a few points off from the reference range, if it increases, she could suffer from poor blood sugar control, a risk of diabetes, and low iron. Her HDL-C should be greater than 55 milligrams. Jane's score is 36. This indicates Jane is not getting enough good cholesterol from her diet. Jane's LDL should be less than 110. Her score was 113. So Jane's diet is high in saturated fat, sugar, and sodium from fast and processed foods, which is likely why she has a poor LDL result. Since Jane's LDL is not within a healthy range, this suggests she has too much bad cholesterol from her diet, which could cause her hyperlipidemia and hypertension. Jane's weight and diet are extremely alarming because Jane is not receiving the proper amount of macro and micronutrients. This could not only impair her growth, but increase her risk of cancer and other diseases as a teen and in adulthood. So these nutrition recommendations and goals have been outlined to help Jane overall. The first goal is helping Jane reach a healthy weight for her age through a nutritional plan. 2, increasing Jane's knowledge about healthy foods so that she can make healthier food choices. 3, increasing Jane's physical activity level. And 4, educating Jane's parents on healthy eating and cooking so they can encourage Jane to reach a healthy weight. In order to address the first two recommendations, educating Jane first and foremost on unhealthy and unhealthy foods, portion size, and the benefits of physical activity will aid in her weight loss. It is not only important that Jane lose weight for her health, but also for her own self-esteem and body image. Studies have shown that teens have favorable behaviors when learning how to eat healthier. Increasing Jane's knowledge of health and food alone can lead to a behavior change in her dietary habits. Additionally, online nutrition education tools have proved to be most effective, so utilizing such a program will help facilitate the goals outlined for Jane. Educating Jane's parents is one of the biggest recommendations that can have the most influential effect on Jane. So, since Jane comes from a low socioeconomic status family, these families often have a home meal environment that is less encouraging of healthy eating. Since Jane's parents are overweight themselves and often choose nutrients-dense foods to serve Jane, it is likely they are not educated regarding nutrition or reading labels. Improving their knowledge of nutrition, including the micronutrients Jane needs daily, and why is it important for her health, will be the biggest factor in ensuring Jane is able to reach a healthy weight. Providing Jane's parents with healthy meal and snack recipes that are within their budget will also promote the success of the goals outlined for Jane. Lastly, cooking meals at home and eating together as a family will save Jane's family money over time while providing Jane with more nutritious meals than fast foods. So the final recommendations for Jane include utilizing local nonprofit and government assistance programs. Organizations like the Boys and Girls Club that offer a Smart Girls program encourages girls age 8 to 18 through weekly activities to eat healthy and be active, while also helping them with the self-esteem and confidence. So, since Jane comes from a low-income background, it's likely she will be able to join through a scholarship or free of charge, depending on the club in her area. Because adolescents are highly influenced by their peers, the friends Jane will make in high school will influence her behavior to be healthy and active. Jane would benefit tremendously from the Smart Girls program because she will be physically active with girls her age and build friendships with girls who enjoy being active. Since the availability of food in the home is the strongest predictor of fruit and vegetable intake, enrolling in SNAP could affect Jane's health outcomes. Additionally, the National School Lunch Program and the School Breakfast Program are required to provide healthy and nutritious meals to school children. Therefore, this will be another beneficial tool that will help Jane reach a healthy weight over time. So now I'm going to move on and discuss Jane's 3-day meal plan. So her meal plan consists of breakfast, lunch, and dinner with 3 small snacks in between that are best eaten within a 2 to 3 hour window. So the items chosen can be easily prepared by Jane and her parents, although extra time will need to be allocated to prepare her snacks and other menus like quinoa, chicken, rice, or steamed vegetables. In order to address the deficiencies that Jane had in her diet, it's important to increase her vitamin A intake. So I included soy milk, sweet potatoes, and kale. Additionally, to supplement her vitamin D intake, she will be consuming tuna, eggs, and soy milk. Her source of choline will come from eggs, whole grains, beans, cottage cheese, and soy milk. And potassium will be obtained from fruits like banana, vegetables, soy milk, yogurt, and cottage cheese. Lastly, Jane will be getting her sources of iron from oatmeal, spinach, lean meats, and seafood like tuna. So eliminating fruit juices and sodas as well as processed and fast foods from her diet and instead supplementing it with water, soy milk, or sweetened teas will help Jane keep her sugar consumption low. Consuming natural sugars from fruits make up the majority of sugar content in her diet. Jane's previous diet had poor sources of fat. So substituting bad fats with good ones like olive oil, which she can put on her salad, almonds, peanut butter, and chia seeds are now implemented in this new meal plan. Lastly, Jane's lipid profile did not have enough good cholesterol. So to ensure she is not exceeding her daily limit of cholesterol, Jane's meal plan includes hard-boiled eggs, tuna, chicken, cottage cheese, and small amounts of cheddar cheese. So all in all, if Jane is able to maintain a healthy diet, increase her physical activity level, and have the motivation to stick to a healthy lifestyle, she will not only increase her energy levels, but she'll also be able to avoid disease and cancer and maintain a healthy weight for her age, which is definitely the optimal result that we want because we want Jane to live a happy and healthy long life.